3 on one page, 4 and 5 on the next. You did? It's right there. What do you mean you left yours at home? Okay, I'll get you this paper that you can just use and then we can glue your piece of paper. I gave you a new one yesterday.
I know, but I left it at home, so I wasn't
Yeah.
I wasn't listening. Can you say everything again?
Everything again. You're going to cut apart those vertical sheets. 2 and 3 go on one page at the bottom, because it starts at 2, so we need space for number 1. 4 and 5 go on the next page, and I would space out 4 and 5 on the next page. Yep, like that. And then you need 2 colored pencils of different colors. Doesn't matter which colors. So you probably want to do it, because this won't fit all the way in, so if you like, either do half and half, like this is one page and one page, or you can do it on one and on the other.
I need both of these things.
Huh?
You can't hear me?
Huh?
I stopped you back. I'm like really back to emergency.
You can't go for the first 10 minutes.
Okay, so
In 7 minutes. And then you can go. Alright. Give me about 2 more minutes to get ready, and then we're going to get started on notes. So 2 and 3 on one page, 4 and 5 on the next.
she said there is
Because we're going to do problem 1 together. We're going to write one. Two and 3 on one. If you don't get it exact, that's okay. We'll deal with it. We'll figure it out. And then you do want 2 colored pencils out. So when you put away your glue sticks, please make sure you get the cap all the way on your glue stick. Some people are just like barely capping it. Make sure your cap gets all the way on. And then 2 colored pencils. I'm going to use blue and red if you want the same as me. Otherwise, you can just use whatever 2 colors make you happy.
One red.
You can use highlighters. It says that we're going to do 2 examples on one graph. So you're going to want one example in one color and then the other one in a different color. So, Destiny's first once the first 10 minutes are up. Where are you going to do problem 1?
I mean, maybe you won't have to.
Alright, about 1 more minute to get that all set. And then we're going to get started. What? That your wife's hair was gray?
Yeah, she couldn't go to the hairdresser.
Oh, so she's always secretly just nodding. Done. Always get the ribbons touch up. That's funny. Like that. They're in there. Yeah, your color pencils are in your tub. Or you can use highlighters if you really want. Where's the math, Joe? Mr. B sent it to me yesterday. I totally forgot because I got real excited about the STAR testing. Let me find it.
Yeah, I got it.
I forgot about your joke yesterday.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Where did it go, though?
Everybody knows that. Yeah, I probably just put it back in one or I never walking around somebody always withdrawn. So I
All right. Mr. B sent me a joke yesterday so that we could get it on the board. It's a good meme. I just saved it. Where'd it go? Some days I feel like an old person. there's our jerk. That was supposed to be from yesterday, but we're going to do slope-intercept form today, so it works. You guys get it? It's so exciting. You don't have to do much work. Right? No? You guys don't like easy homework? You guys want harder homework? What? Right, exactly. That's what today is going to be too, to start. Riley, did you see the joke? You got it? Was it funny? Did you laugh? Did you breathe loudly through your nose at it? Kind of. Alright, here we go. We're going to get started for today. Today we are going to do more slope-intercept form. So today is B-5. There are 7 lessons in this unit. So that tells us that we are at B5, which means we're getting pretty close to the end here. So today's B5, we are going to be writing slope-intercept form today. Last time on Tuesday, we were graphing slope-intercept form. Today we are going to be writing slope-intercept form. Alright, so as a quick reminder, what is slope-intercept form? What is that equation? Good. Y equals mx plus b. And just like our meme we had today, what does it tell us? What 2 parts do we know?
The y-intercept and the slope.
The y-intercept and the slope. Which one is the y-intercept? The B is our y-intercept. And remember, what is an intercept? Good, where it crosses, like an intersection and an interception in football. Okay, and which part is the slope?
MX.
Not mx, just the m. Alright, so for our directions today, that's all the vocabulary we have. We already defined y-intercept. We just talked about it. Slope on a graph, how are we going to do that? Rise over run. You're not getting going. You don't want to go through this speed. I don't want to do it. Just put it away. I want to do it. You don't even know what we're doing yet. Do example 1. Alright. So for our examples, first we're going to find the equation. That's our directions for all of this. Find the equation. It's not in Schoology today.
What?
We've only had 1 assignment in Schoology. Yes. Alright, so number 1. For example 1, that's the one that we are writing together. So put your phone away, Phil. Thank you. We have our slope. Our slope is going to be 2/3. And our y-intercept let's spell it out, I guess, is 0, 5. So this one should feel nice and easy. We already know the slope, we know the y-intercept, we have all the information we need, so we should be able to just write our equation right off the bat. What is our equation always going to start with? Good, y equals, and then we need the m. So which one of these numbers is the m? The slope. So 2/3 x plus, what's our b? Do I want to write 0, 5? Just 5. So when you write that y-intercept, it's just the 5. So that's going to be part of your practice today. That first part of your practice, it looks like it's a lot, but it's just literally doing that. Okay, you're going to cruise through that. All right, number 2. Now we're going to go from a graph. So what's going to be the first step on our graph to look for? Good, the points. So remember, points are where we have that vertical line and a horizontal line in the background. So I like to just start at one end of my arrow. Go up, here's a point, because we have that vertical and the horizontal. Okay, I keep following it up. There's another one. Why don't I want this one?
Because it's not on it's not, what's it called, what's the word?
Horizontal?
No.
Intercept? Yeah, this is an intercept. It doesn't intercept like a x-axis tick mark. Alright, so this one, there's actually quite a few points that we could have used. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points we can use. Okay? Is this a positive or a negative slope?
Positive.
Positive. We're just going to ask that for ourselves so that way we remember. At the end, we should get a positive number. So we have slope. How are we going to find slope? Rise over run. Good. All right, so to do our rise and run, we just go from point to point to point. So I'm going to start at the very bottom point, the one on the left side. I'm going to go rise and then run to the next point. Rise, run. Rise, run. What's nice is if we can get more than 2 points on that line, we can really check our rise and our run because it should be the same every time. In between every point, it should be the exact same. Okay, so I start at this bottom one. Rise goes up, run goes over. So how much did it rise each time? 1. How many is it running each time? 2. Now here's kind of a fun thing, is if you run a half, or if you rise a half, if you go up a half, you can just go over 1, and you know that's at a half now. Go up a half, run 1. Up a half, over 1. That's one way to think about it, or you can just think of it as up 1 over 2. All right, what is our y-intercept? Good. So with y-intercept, we're going to look at the y-axis. So I always like to circle the y. If you have a tough time remembering which axis you're going to look at, it's the one that goes up and down. From the origin, are we going to go up or down? Down, how many? 2. Down to the line 2. So our y-intercept is 0, negative 2. Now we're ready for our equation. Y equals mx plus b. Right in what M and F be. This is now.
What would the rise of a run be? What would the M be?
1/2 x minus 2. Y equals.
You go with your pencil? I know. It would be minus or plus.
Minus. So it's negative 2.
Good job, guys.
Could you do a plus?
Yes, you could still do a plus minus negative 2, right?
Yep, you could. You could do a plus negative 2, or since it's a negative, you can choose minus 2, whichever you like better.
Bro, why my fingers so dark? Look at that.
You're gonna go with like your walking to lunch on the side. And then right before you get to the windows, the last one.
What's the homework?
All right. If you're feeling confident, you should be working ahead on 3 and 4, and then checking your work with us. You didn't do 3 and 4 though. No, you didn't. Write it down. It's all point of notes. So y equals 1/2 x plus negative 2. Either one of those works. Okay, nice job, Jay. Crushed it. All right, yes, Antonia. Yeah? It is. All right, now on the next one. Number 3. If you want to try to work ahead and feel like you got it, you got it. If you want to work with us, you got it. Okay, first thing we're going to do is find our ordered pairs. So take a look at that graph. I always just follow the line. So our diagonal line here, I always start at one end and I just try and follow it along until I see that crossing in the background. So here's one point. So take a look at that. Where's the location of another point? Good, 3. Good, 3, -1. Good, that's a good ordered pair. It goes right 3, down 1 from the origin. Are there any other points on this graph? No, so this one we can't really check our work. We're just going to do our rise and our run and say, yep, we got it. Okay, so for our slope, our M, we're going to do rise over run. Okay, you can choose to either start on the left side or the right side. It's up to you. I like to rise up. That's what makes sense to me. But a lot of people are like, oh, we read it left to right. So let's start at the 4 and we'll go down and then over. Now, is this a positive slope or a negative slope? Negative. So I'm going to just put in a negative number here just to start. That way I don't have to worry about the negative later on. I just know overall it's negative. How much is our rise, our up and down? Good. Down 5 over 3. When we count, why do we count the lines and not the spaces? Yeah, the lines are the numbers. They're like the tick marks on a number line. So we're counting like tick marks. All right, our B, our y-intercept. So for our B, we're looking at the y-axis. That's the one that goes up and down. Are we going to go up or down on this one from the origin?
Up.
Up, how many?
0, 4.
Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where I cross, so 0, 4. So our equation ends up being, we have y equals mx plus b. And all we need to fill in is the m and the b. The y and the x are going to stay there. That's what creates the line as the y and the x, because it's saying here's the y's, here's the x's. So y equals, what's our m?
-5 over 3.
-5 over 3. X plus 4. Good. All right, we have one more like this, which was probably maybe a little overkill. I need to flip to my next page, so if you need to write this down, make sure you're writing it down. If you want to try number 4, if you haven't tried it yet, you can try it and work ahead. Just double check that you're getting the same answer as us. All right, so number 4. Let's see how many points can we create out of this one. Have a good day. So we have a point here, and then if I follow, I like to jump by horizontal lines. That's not one, not one. That looks like one. Yep, nope. And this time there is one at the end of an arrow. Sometimes that's your only option, is to have a point at the end of the arrow. It doesn't always work. Whoops. It doesn't always work to have a point there, but this time it does. So just always keep that in mind. If you're feeling like you can only find one point, check and see if the end of the arrow is really a point. All right, is this slope positive or negative? Negative. -3 over 1. Now at this point in our lives, I'm happy that we got to the -3 over 1, but what's -3 over 1 really equal to? -3. So we do want to simplify our slopes, but again, at this point in our lives, it's okay not to. Okay? All right, B, what is our y-intercept? Good, we would go down 1, 2, 3, 4, so 0, -4. So what's our equation going to end up looking like? Y equals, good, -3 plus 4?
No, minus.
-3x, and then you could do plus -4, or you can do -4. Yep, either way, you could do a plus -4. I think I didn't hear you say x, John Deere, that's why I asked you. All right, so that's one part of your practice today. We're going to add on just a little bit of an extra thing that's a little bit different. It doesn't have to really do with slope-intercept form, but it's really important that we go over, and it just kind of fits best here because this is somewhat review from that Tuesday. So on number 5, this is where we're going to use our colored pencils. If you're using highlighters, that's fine, but you're going to write it and then probably highlight over it in one color. So for number 5, we're going to talk a little bit about 2 different equations that we're going to see in our math careers. Okay, one equation we're going to see is where it's just x equals and then a number. So I'm going to say x equals -2. On this one, it feels silly because is there a slope? Is there a y-intercept? Dude, you still got to follow school rules. You still got to follow school rules. You can't have your phone out. Get it before school, after school, and during lunch. All right, x equals -2. So the way that we're going to think about this is we're going to think of this as x is always -2. That's our rule. That's what we have to follow when we make those points. So we're going to create an XY table. And I always like to just do 3 points. You technically only need 2 points because then you can just draw a line between those 2 points. The third point is just nice to make sure that you have the right line. Okay, because then it should line up as well. All right, what does x have to be? -2. Now for the y, I want to choose something that's on my graph. Do I have any rules about what I can choose? No, so I'm going to look at my graph and I'm going to say 2. +2. Because I see a +2 right there on my y. So that's one ordered pair, -2, 2. All right, for the next ordered pair, what is the x? -2. What's the y? 4. How did you all know to say 4? That was weird. All right, -2. And then you get to pick whatever you want here. Let's do a negative number, -6. Sure, 2, 4. Going with those even numbers. So it doesn't matter what your y is. Our only rule is x has to be -2. So now when we graph this, we're going to start at our origin. Am I going to go left or right? Left how many? 2. And then my y is a +2. So up, 1, 2. Put a point there. Then we have -2, 4. So from the origin, we're going to go left 2. And then how do I get to a +4?
Up 4.
Good, up 4. And you should be able to draw that line just between those 2 points. Again, I like a third point just to make sure I'm right. So -2, -6. From that origin to get to -2, we go left 2, down 6, which is all the way at the bottom. What kind of line is this when it goes straight up and down? That's the slope of the line. The slope of the line is undefined. What do we just call a line that's up and down in general? Vertical, yep. So we get a vertical line here because all of these points, what's their x? -2. If you find any point on this line and you go to the x-axis, it's always -2. We're going to do one more. So this, I'm going to switch my colors because we're going to graph it on this line. We're going to put the line on this graph, and I want to know this red line goes with this red work. I'm going to do blue, so then I know the blue line will go with the blue work. Does that make sense? Kind of. All right, last one. Y equals 4. If you want to try and work ahead on this one, you can. How are we going to think about y equals 4?
Y is always 4.
Yep, y is always 4. That is comes from the equal sign. Another word for equals is. Okay? I put in the always because that just helps me remember how to make my table. So on my table, it's always going to go what first? X always comes first, and then y. So this time, where is our constant numbers going to go? For the x's or for the y's? The y's. So if you want to, before you even put numbers in for the x, we know all these y's are going to be what? 4. So you could just write 4, 4, 4. And then we want x's that are on our graph. So last class somebody said 8. You could say 8, but are we going to be able to plot that on our graph? No. Hey guys, there's a feet. Way too many people out here right now. Go to the bathroom if you have to go. Alright. So, what do you want for your x? 3? Somebody else give me an x? 2? 4? Okay, these are going to all end up next to each other. So 3, 4. From my origin, where am I going to go? Right 3, up 4. Two, 4. How are we going to get to 2, 4? Good. Right 2. Mr. B. Mr. B. Alright, so 2, 4 is right 2, up 4. And then 4, 4. Right, 4, up 4. So this time, what kind of line do we end up with? What do we call a line that goes straight across? It's a 0 slope, but the name of the line is just horizontal. Cool. Alright, I know this worksheet looks like a lot, but you have 20 minutes to do it. I'm sure most of you, if you start right away, can finish it. If not, you are going to get real close to finishing it. First thing you need to do is make sure you put your name on it. Name, name, name. Name. Put your name on it. Remember your name. So far this class has done really good with remembering their names. So good job for knowing your name. Proud of you.